Hey there and welcome to my channel. I'm Jeanette, and in this video I want to show you 3 different hot background ideas that you can use for hand lettering. The first 2 backgrounds are created by using watercolors and the third one with alcohol inks. Let's start with the first watercolor background. For this one you need, next to your watercolor supplies, also adhesive foil and a pair of scissors. The first step is to cut out hearts of the adhesive foil and stick them to the paper. And I don't need to stick perfectly since the water is supposed to get underneath. You could also try using, instead of the adhesive foil, some other kind of foil that doesn't stick. I haven't tried this out, but I could imagine that this works even better than the adhesive foil. Next you need to apply the watercolor. I think I was using the Ecoline liquid watercolors, but I also think that there is some metallic ones mixed in as well. And as I mentioned before, you want the watercolor to get underneath the foil. And I did have a little trouble getting there in this example. When I tried this out before, it worked much better. So that's why you don't want it to stick perfectly. So I tried to remove it to kind of peel the foil a little off and make sure that there's not too much water underneath it, and that it's not too wet. Now let the background completely dry and then remove the foil. If you get other results, you might try different paper. I did get different results depending on the paper I was using. Here's an example of how this turned out using the Canson cold pressed watercolor paper. The next watercolor background is this loose watercolor heart. For this background I recommend using watercolor paper. If you want, you can sketch the heart first, but I recommend to have a light sketch. Then you can add your watercolor, and here you can be very loose and go over the sketch. As soon as it is dry, you can add the heart line art and also your lettering. Keep in mind that this is not smooth paper, so don't use your expensive brush pens on this because they will fray. Same counts for the first background as well, since the watercolor doesn't dry smooth but a little bit textured. If you do want to use brush pens, the third option is the way to go. I'm using alcohol inks, but you could try using smooth paper and watercolor. As for the first background, you need to cut out a heart of the adhesive foil, but this time you only cut out one big heart so that the lettering fits inside the heart. Then stick the heart onto the paper, and I'm using Yupo paper here. Keep in mind that you can't use regular paper in combination with alcohol inks. You could try different material though, like a towel for example. And also keep in mind that this time you want the adhesive foil to stick perfectly and not to be loose on the paper. And now you add the alcohol ink and play around until you have an image that you like. Of course you can also add rubbing alcohol, and I'm using a brush pen for that because I don't have an extra bottle or something else to apply or to add the alcohol, so I'm using my brush pen, which is filled with alcohol. And again, wait until it is dry, remove the adhesive foil and add your lettering. As Yupo paper is very smooth, I don't worry about using a brush pen, although I'm using a small brush pen and I use these on any background, to be honest, and I don't really care if the paper is smooth though, so I would use those pens on watercolor paper as well, even though you maybe shouldn't, but I don't worry too much about my small brush pens. And that's already it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you might hit the like button and also check out some other videos. If you want to see more videos, you might also consider subscribing. Be happy if you did. And maybe I'll see you in another video. Bye!